chain of links. Kasi para daw yang panikala na kapagka daw may naputol na isa, mararamdaman ng mga susunod at other na pillars yung epekto. Ibig sabihin, ang criminal justice system, kagaya ng binanggit natin, as a machinery or as an apparatus, yan ay magkakadugtong, integrated yan. Ano? Na kapag ka nga mahina ang isa, dadamahin ng other pillars yung epekto or kahinaan ng ating other pillars. Paano po ba natin nasasabi yan? Ang criminal justice system kasi natin and this 5 pillars, sabi nga, kung nagkamali man ang isang pillar dito, itatama yan ng susunod na pillar. Sa paanong paraan? Kung nagkamali ang law enforcement pillar natin sa pag-aresto ng tao, kukulong ba agad ang tao? Di ba hindi? Kasi ang role ng prosecution, i-determine kung may probable cause or walang probable cause. So kung na-determine ng prosecution na wala namang probable cause, balik mo na agad yan sa community. So naitama natin ang pagkakamali ng law enforcement. Ngayon nagkamali ang prosecution. No? Sabi may probable cause, idiniretso ang kaso sa court. May itama pa ba? Oo naman. Because the court will determine whether you are innocent or guilty. Pero kung nagkamali ang korte, di ba nakakaawa na may inosente na makukulong? Yun yung sinasabi nating dire-diretso ang proseso. Na kailangan kung may pagkukulang ang isa, may pagkakamali ang isa, maitama agad ng susunod na pillar. Kasi kung hindi yan may itama at aabot yan hanggang dito sa correction, i-correct mo ang isang taong inosente? Padadaanin mo ng koreksyon, ng kulungan ang isang taong inosente. Di ba? You will only put that person in a psychologically shattered na process. Ibabalik mo yan ng community na wasak. Kasi ikaw ang may dahilan, ikaw ang may problema na sistema, bakit nag-suffer yan ng consequences na hindi naman dapat niya isa-suffer. So again, the law enforcement up to this community should operate as an integrated process. It should function like a chain of links. And any weakness in these links will automatically result to the breakdown of the whole system. So pwedeng magkaroon ng inordinate delays ng proceeding, pwedeng bumagal yung proceedings natin, pwedeng ma-acquit ang guilty, no? Tapos ang mako-convict ay inosente. But such witness can be caused, of course, by the lack of the concern and participation also of our community. Na kung ang community natin hindi rin nakikipagtulungan dun sa mga pillars natin, makikita natin ang problema ng buong sistema. Kaya nga lahat ito ay kinakailangang magtulungan. Kasi kung ang gusto natin ay ma-prevent ang crime, kung gusto natin magkaroon ng justice, ma-render kung ano yung due sa tao, maibigay kung ano ba yung dapat sa tao, at dumaan ng tamang proseso, magkaroon ng equal protection clause. Kailangan na check ng tama ang role ng bawat pillars. So let's now have the discussion one by one ng mga pillars na binabanggit natin. So kanina, binanggit natin na ang law enforcement pillar natin, that's the initiator of the action. That's the prime mover of our criminal justice system. Kasi again, ang law enforcement pillar ang mag-uumpisa ng lahat. Ang role ng law enforcement pillar natin is of course, i-prevent muna ang krimen. Kaya nga, law enforcement, tagapagpatupad ng batas. At kung tagapagpatupad ka ng batas, ang role mo dito is syempre, kailangan mo ma-prevent na mangyari ang crime. Pero syempre, hindi po sa lahat ng pagkakataon ay kaya nating ma-prevent totally and absolutely ang krimen. So, yun yung sinasabi natin na nagkakaroon ng crime. And kapag ka nagkaroon na ng crime, it will now call for the operation of our CJS. Mag-uumpisa na dito ang pag-operate ng buong criminal justice system. Kasi nga, Kapagka po may nangyaring krimen, mag-a-apprehend ang law enforcement. Kailangan niyang arestuhin yung taong nakagawa ng crime. And kapagka inaresto yung taong nakagawa ng crime, magkakaroon ng investigation. Kaninong role ang investigation? Law enforcement pa rin. Sino ang magsasampa ng kaso sa prosecution? Role pa rin yan ng law enforcement pillar. So, ang law enforcement pillar ang umpisa ng proseso ng criminal justice system natin. So the law enforcement has of course the deterrent and preventive na activity kasi from the word deterrent, kailangan nitong mapigilan ang mga taong gustong gumawa ng crime. And hindi lang yung mga tao na nagpaplano o nagtatangka na gumawa ng crime, kailangan ding mapigilan ang mga taong nakagawa na ng krimen na makagawa ulit. And it has the preventive activity. Kailangan itong ma-prevent ang lahat ng crime na mangyari. Kasi palaging sinasabi na ang law enforcement pillar natin, hindi sila for arrest. Ang efficiency ng law enforcement pillar, ang sukatan ng pagiging magaling na law enforcement ay kapag po nagiging absent ang crime, napiprevent ang crime. And the law enforcement is the initiator of the action. Binanggit na natin to kanina, prime mover, initiator. Kasi sila yung start. Sila yung mag-uumpisa ng proseso ng ating criminal justice system. So the different law enforcement activities includes, of course, unang-una, dapat ma-prevent ang crime. And in preventing the crime, dapat ma-identify ang root causes ng crime. Bakit ba may ganitong krimen? Ano-ano ba yung mga possible na dahilan bakit ang tao ay pwedeng mag-engage sa crime? Dala ba ng kahirapan? Dala ba ng inggit? Dala ba ng selos? So goal din ng ating law enforcement na ma-repress or ma-suppress yung crime. So when we say ma-repress or ma-suppress ang crime, ibig sabihin may krimen na nangyari. There is already a crime committed. And the goal here is of course to reduce the opportunity of committing the crime. Kasi mangyayari lang naman ang crime kung meron tayong motivated na offender. Sasamahan pa ng tinatawag nating opportunity. And if there is opportunity, if there is situation that is conducive to the commission of crime, yun yung dapat na maagwat natin. Yun yung dapat na mapigilan natin. Yun yung dapat na maalis natin. Kaya para mawalan ng opportunity, for us to remove the opportunity and the situation that is conducive to the commission of crime, dapat may mga preventive activities and suppressive activities ang law enforcement. In the Philippines, one of the most preventive strategies na ginagamit ng mga pulis natin, ng mga law enforcement authorities natin ay sa pamamagitan ng tinatawag nating patrol. Nagpapatrol sila either through motorcycle, foot patrol, or kaya naman sa ibang bansa, meron pa silang tinatawag na horse patrol, helicopter patrol. So lahat ng yan ay para ma-prevent natin ang crime. Sa paanong paraan? Siyempre kapag kami nagpapatrol, nakikita mo na may mga tao, nakikita mo na may mga authorities na nagbabantay ng movement ng tao. Di ba ikaw ay matatakot? Yung presensya pa nga lang nila, takot ka na gumawa ng crime. Parang idea lang na, 'di ba, kapag magmomotor ka tapos wala kang lisensya, wala kang helmet, nasa malayo pa lamang ang LTO, umaatras ka na. It's because their presence is already enough para ma-deter ka. So, ganun din ang role ng patrol natin. Kaya sila nagpapatrol, kaya may visible na mga police officers is para yung presence nila, matakot tayo na gumawa ng crime. But there are cases na ang patrol ay ginagawa through low visibility. When we say low visibility, ibig sabihin hindi mo nakikita ang law enforcers natin. Naka-civilian sila kasi ang goal naman nila, antayan ka na gumawa ng crime. And once you commit the crime, so aarestuhin ka. So yun yung sinasabing low visibility patrol. And another law enforcement activity is of course apprehending the offender, also known as arresting the offender. Na dahil meron tayong crime, identified natin kung sino ang gumawa ng crime, we will arrest or we will apprehend this offender. Now, in some cases as well, lalo na kapag may inaresto tayo, or kaya naman i-raid our Bibles, we are conducting search and seizure. And iba ang search sa tinatawag nating seizure. Because in search, may hinahanap tayo. Kapag seizure, may kinukuha tayo dun sa na-search natin. So sinizis, kinukuha natin or sinasamsam natin yung property or yung object which is subject of crime. And dahil may krimen, may kriminal, trabaho din ng law enforcement natin na imbestigahan ang nangyaring crime. And syempre, kaya ginagawa ito ng law enforcement natin kasi ang trabaho ng law enforcement is to protect the lives and the properties. Kaya nga kahit sa motto ng PNP, di ba? To serve and to protect. It's because trabaho ng PNP, trabaho ng law enforcement agencies in the Philippines na protektahan ang lives and properties ng tao. Hindi lang i-maintain ang peace and order, pero maprotektahan ang bawat buhay, ang bawat ari-arian. Ang pagkakamali nga lamang ng mga tao, kapag ka naririnig ang law enforcement, kapag ka binabasa yung law enforcement pillar, ang palagi nilang naiisip is police daw ito, PNP lang daw ito, which is wrong. Kasi dapat alam ninyo na kung law enforcement pillar ito, lahat ito ng agencies, lahat ito ng bureaus, lahat ito ng departments na ang role sa bansa natin ay to enforce the law, magpatupad ng batas. So, given that definition, hindi lang po PNP ang tinutukoy natin sa law enforcement. In fact, we have a lot of government agencies and departments falling under the law enforcement pillar. So ano-ano yan? Unang-una is of course Philippine National Police. And siguro kaya lang nasasabi ng marami sa atin na Philippine National Police kapag ka law enforcement pillar kasi forerunner. And when we say forerunner ang ating PNP, yan na yung nangunguna sa lahat. Nangunguna sa lahat ng mga activities na may kinalaman sa internal security ng ating bansa. So, dito sa law enforcement pillar, again, not always and not PNP lang ang ating kinoconsider na agency or department. So aside from PNP, we have this NBI, the National Bureau of Investigation. We also have PCG, the Philippine Coast Guard. We also have the PPA, that's the Philippine Ports Authority. Another one is the AFP para sa external security ng ating bansa. So that's the Armed Forces of the Philippines. We also have AMLC, that's for Anti-Money Laundering Council. PDEA is another law enforcement agency. That's the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency. We also have BI, that's Bureau of Immigration. BOC, Bureau of Customs, OMB, Optical Media Board. We have IFAPHIL, that's the Intellectual Property Office of the Philippines. We also have PAOCC, Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission. We have PCTC, ito yung para sa transnational crimes natin. So, Philippine Center on Transnational Crime. We have ATC, Anti-Terrorism Council. Ito ay created under Republic Act number 9372 pero ito ay na-repealed na ng pinakabagong batas which I hope narinig ninyo. Yung Republic Act number 79, yung napakaingay na batas kasi regarding terrorism yan. So, nandyan yung ATC natin, the Anti-Terrorism Council. We also have NICA, National Intelligence Coordinating Agency. We have BIR, Bureau of Internal Revenue, OTS, Office of Transport Security. We also have MMDA, Metro Manila Development Authority. We have SEC, that's the Securities and Agencies Commission. We have LTO as well, Land Transportation Office. OSG, that's the Office of the Solicitor General. DOLE is also under the law enforcement pillar. That's the Department of Labor and Employment. Another one na kinoconsider natin as law enforcement, BFP, the Bureau of Fire Protection. Ang BJMP, although yan ay under ng corrections pillar, it is also recognized as part of our law enforcement. So we have Bureau of Jail Management and Penology. We also have POEA, the Philippine Overseas Employment Administration. We have the NTC, the National Telecommunication Commission. We have CAAP, Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines. We have DOF, that's the Department of Finance. Ombudsman, Office of the Ombudsman. And of course, we have AYACOT, that's the Interagency Council Against Trafficking. So again, lahat ng binanggit natin, ito medyo madami. Lahat ng binanggit natin ito ay under ng law enforcement pillar. Kasi again, tatandaan, hindi lang ang Philippine National Police ang kinoconsider as part of the law enforcement pillar. We have a lot of agencies. We have a lot of departments. And lahat ng ito, ang role ay syempre magpatupad ng batas, i-prevent ang crimes at kung may krimen man na nangyari, isuppress yung crime na yon. Pero very specific tayo dito kung ano yung role ng mga departments na ito, yung mga nagva-violate na crimes. Take a look, for example, dito sa Anti-Terrorism Council natin. So yung Anti-Terrorism Council natin, that's the specific agency na maghahawak ng mga kasong may kinalaman sa terrorism and terrorist organization. Although yung ating Philippine National Police ay nakikipagtulungan sa Anti-Terrorism Council and other departments and agencies under the so-called interagency approach. So, ito pa rin, ATC ang pinaka-main na agency natin para sa mga terrorism. So again, lahat ito under ng law enforcement pillar. But in the law enforcement pillar, it is always the Philippine National Police nga, kagaya ng binanggit ko, na kinoconsider natin na forerunner or sabi nga dito, ang law enforcement function that is spearheaded, of course, with the Philippine National Police. And remember, of course, na ang Philippine National Police ay under ng Department of Interior and Local Government. Under ng DILG ito. And kung bakit ito under ng DILG, it's because of Republic Act number 6975, the DILG Act of 1990, na noong ni-reorganize ang DILG kasama sa binuo ang PNP together with BJMP and BFP. That's why pag sinabing tri-bureaus, it's PNP, BFP, and BJMP. Aside from the PNP, we also recognize na ang law enforcement function ay spearheaded ng NBI, National Bureau of Investigation. But please take note, ang NBI ay hawak naman ng Department of Justice. Again, ang NBI naman ay under ng Department of Justice. Broad goal ng PNP natin to prevent and control crimes, maintain peace and order, and ensure public safety and security. And lahat ng binanggit